let's begin. So we'll talk about the importance of email integration and why you should do it, and then we'll walk through the mail add-on. I'll talk about both POP and IMAP. Then there are some other options, including BCC Dropbox and the Outlook plugin, and we've mentioned it many times, but you can do email on your CRM mobile apps. So why do we do email integration? Well, because 40% of business information is trapped inside the email. So you have information through multiple products, right? So your Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, Apple Mail, and you want it all in your CRM. And why is that? Because when you click on a lead, you click on a contact, you see your notes, you see the fields, the address, their name, etc. You keep scrolling down, you see the attachments. What if you could see the emails on the same page and didn't have to open up another tab or another app? And that's the goal here with the email integration. So we bring it all together, and Zoho CRM can communicate with both your email server and your email client. So there's client-side integration, which is like Outlook, and you have server-side integration, which is the mail add-on. You can use both of them at the same time as well. So an email server, for those of you who are on Google Apps, Gmail, Yahoo, Exchange, you can bring that information directly from that server into the CRM without having to use Outlook or any other application. However, some of us really like Outlook, so what happens is instead of communicating directly with the server, you can communicate with the client. So then the CRM basically makes a bridge between Outlook and the software itself. So you're not talking to the server. So if you want to do both, you can communicate with both the client and the server. There's advantages to doing both, and there's a reason some people want to use the Outlook plugin as well. So these are the 4 ways I'm going to show you with the email. All right, let's dive right into the features. So mail add-on allows you to send and receive emails inside Zoho CRM. If you start a brand new account, you can still send emails. It sends technically from your username, which is your email address, but it's not actually sending from your email because when the person sends it back, it doesn't go into Zoho CRM. It's going back to your email where you originally are using, right? So let's say I used ricky@gmail.com. I just signed up for a free account. I sent an email through Zoho CRM. Someone responded back to ricky@gmail.com. It doesn't go into Zoho CRM. It goes to gmail.com. If you add the mail add-on, then the received email will also jump back into Zoho CRM. And it will figure out the email address of the person that's sending the email and link it to the appropriate lead or contact. So if they have multiple email fields, then if it finds their work email, home email, etc., it finds the right person and links it to that page. We have a unique feature here called record level sharing inside the emails. Why do you need that? So by default, the emails are private because if you linked your email with the CRM, you don't want all of your colleagues in the company to be clicking on your contacts and reading through all your emails. That's not what typically happens. So what we've allowed to happen is you can do public sharing, so you can have everyone read your emails, or you can share specific records to all of your company. We do this internally, so you have the sales team. If they're working with a pre-sales engineer, they can click on that particular contact and share it, and they don't have to share every single contact they're working on. So you have that option. We have supported POP3 protocol up until this year, and now we support IMAP 4. So when you sync your emails up with the CRM, they show up in leads and contacts, but they also show up in potentials and custom modules. How does it know? Well, in the potential section, you can link a potential to one contact. So that is the emails that will show up in the potential section. With custom modules, you can use a lookup field to link it to a contact or a lead, and those are the emails that show up. Although this is branded as something separate, it becomes activated when you do the email add-on. It's called the mail magnet. We've talked about this in previous sessions. It's just a filter for your emails. All it does is filters any existing lead or contact emails. So if it comes in, it checks, is this a lead, is this a contact? If it is, it goes in the mail magnet and gives you a notification. Otherwise, it just goes to your email inbox. Why do we do this? Well, because you come to work every day and you have hundreds of emails and you want to respond to customer emails first. So we filter them out for you. Another advantage of this is if you click on that little yellow envelope, it doesn't take you away from the page you're working on. You don't have to go to the emails tab. It does a little pop-up window. You can respond to the email, you can add a task, or you can just read that email, and you don't get taken away from the account you're on or the task you're on, the event you're on, the lead you're on. So it's quick. And again, you can even add notes. All right, so I'm going to move over into the CRM. So you can see I've got an email here in the mail magnet. It's got a notification. If you have the mobile app, it also shows a notification there too. And to set up the email add-on, you go under personal settings. It used to be over here on apps and add-ons. It is now moved under personal settings. It's on email settings. All right, so if you're on enterprise, you'll see this switch to IMAP option. Let's do the POP integration first. Does everyone know what the difference between POP and IMAP is? POP and IMAP. POP downloads the emails into your client, and IMAP syncs it up. So traditionally, we used POP because it would download the email. You could work offline on Outlook, for example. The issue here with POP and why some people don't like it is because if you read the emails in one place, it doesn't count as you read the email in another place. So if I use POP, I'd read the email on my phone, and then I'd go back to gmail.com, and it still shows unread. Then if I had a folder for all the emails coming in from this person, like my boss, I have a special folder just for his emails. Then I have to recreate that folder again when I set up POP with another client. With IMAP, it syncs it with the cloud. So like on our phones, if we downloaded all those emails on your phone, you might run out of space. So it syncs it with the cloud. Also, it syncs all your folders. It syncs your filters. And if you read the email on your phone, you know that it's also going to show up as read on gmail.com. And that's why we like IMAP. So IMAP is preferred. However, if you are using the CRM to do your emails primarily, then you don't need to go back and forth anyway. So it really shouldn't make too much of a difference. But in order to battle that pain point, we have IMAP available. So I do recommend it once it's out and ready to go for everybody. But to set up the POP, just click on that button there. You can have up to 5 email addresses per user account. All right, so now you know my real name. It's Rakesh. It's not actually Ricky. So my email is coming into this, and then my fake email address, John Smith, is coming in, and then my Ricky demo address is coming in. So it's all coming into one place. I don't have to check it 3 different places. And then down here, because it downloads the emails, you can have a time for when it checks for emails. To be honest, I don't really know why someone would want to put every 60 minutes when you can put it down all the way to 3. And then maximum emails, you can change this to 200, so it checks for the 200 emails rather than 100 at a time. All right, so I set up an email address earlier, so I'm going to click Add New Mailbox and then Add POP3 Account. So you can name your account whatever you want. I'm going to use this person called Paige. Her last name is Turner, Paige Turner. So I can name it what I want. That's just for me to know. Then I put the email ID in. Oops, forgot the number. All right, so it automatically filled in most of the information for me. This is general for most email servers, except when you're on Exchange server. I can't tell you the answer to every single person's Exchange server, and that's why if you talk to Sridhar, he'll tell you to get off of it and stop using it. All right, it's complicated, it's old. Get on some kind of cloud-based system. You can go with Google, you can go with Zoho, but we don't recommend using that anymore. But some of us can't have any say in who our IT person is and what they're doing and all that. So Exchange Server is very, very specific to each and every organization. You have to enable it for POP, you have to enable it for IMAP. There's only so many clients it can link with. If it's linking to your phone and your tablet and something else, maybe there's a limit. It won't be able to link to Zoho. Maybe there's a security issue. It just depends on your company. All right? For everyone else, it's more than likely going to be pop.server.com995. All right, and that's in our user guide as well. For Gmail, it nicely puts it in there for you. On the IMAP integration, we've actually taken the steps for you to just choose the server, and it fills it all in for you. So it's going to be an even better and quicker setup. All right, so now I put my password. If you have issues with this and you click test account and it doesn't work, there's a few issues. One, you're on your settings, it is not enabled for IMAP or POP. So go to your, for example, Gmail settings and change that. 2, there's a security issue. You have to change some settings inside Gmail to allow other apps to access your email. Otherwise, you'll get a notification saying so-and-so is trying to access your email. 3, you tried both of those and it still doesn't work. your password is the problem. It's too simple and is not passing through our security protocol. I tried this earlier. I put the password as Zoho CRM, and it would not let me do it. I added a bunch of symbols and capital letters, and now it's working. All right, so those are your 3 checks. If it still doesn't work, then we'll look at your system and figure out what's going on. So delete messages settings. In POP, you can choose to leave messages in the server. You delete it in Zoho, it deletes over in Google. Or you can have intervals set up. All right, so I can test account. Once it passes the test, then you choose the other side, which is the outgoing server. Fills it in for you. Most outgoing servers are going to be smtp.server.com. If you are using Zoho Mail hosting, then you use Zoho SMTP. Otherwise, you always choose custom. All right. For Google, Google allows SSL and TLS. Just use SSL if you're not sure. And then go ahead and put your password again. And once that's done, takes a few moments. All right, so now it's created the account. So notice here, it's going to check every 3 minutes. So you're not going to have all of your emails in a few seconds. Every 3 minutes, I'm going to get 100. So if you have 75,000 emails, it's going to take a few days, right? So we get a lot of questions in tech support about that. It's because it only checks so many times, right? So just try to put this at the max setting and then just have some patience because it's going to take some time. However, you can use it straight away. The emails will slowly come in. It's great for those who have a whole history of emails with the same contact or the same lead because they will all eventually come in and fill in on that exact page. So your history actually comes back in. You don't have to just look at the new emails. All the old emails come in too. So that makes it really, really nice to have. And I don't have to now search inside Google for every email that comes in from this person. Once I activate that, you'll see this little yellow envelope called a mail magnet. And then you all can also choose, if you have multiple inboxes, and you can choose which ones are default. So when you send an email from the CRM, it goes to the default. You can always change it before it goes out. So who do you want to send it as? And then you have the sharing permissions. So it defaults to private. So if you have 5 users in your company, you tell 5 people to set this up, all the emails are going to be private. You can choose public. It gives you a warning. That means all your emails can be seen by everybody else. However, it's only customer emails, right? It's not going to show like your Groupon email of the day to everybody. If you see my email, it's like 90% of those just deals. I don't really get any personal emails. This is really important. So if you don't want colleague emails to show up, just the customer emails back and forth and not in between, like you send an email to the same customer, then I can exclude our company domain just by doing that. So all emails are shared between the customers and the whole company, but not the internal colleague emails between the customer and the company. So a nice little thing to add there. Or you can do custom. This is on a per record basis. There will be a little check mark on the email section, and it allows you to share that particular lead or context email to everybody else. If you're using Zoho Mail, you can add this filter there, and it consolidates all customer emails into one folder or labels it. I'm going to leave it on the custom setting. All right, so let's go into a contact. It's Samir here. All right. Samir's got my picture, which makes no sense, and he's got Tejas' phone number. So if you try to email or call us, you'll be really confused. All right, so this is where it's going to show up once it populates. These will be threaded conversations, and I can filter these out. So if you have sharing enabled for all your users, you can see only on a specific user sent from so-and-so. If it's a workflow email, it will show under this. Then I can open the email, and then I have an email client to just send the email back to Samir. So I can hit reply, and I just basically can type the email out. All right, so here's this share button. If I hit this thing shared with your colleagues, and come back and switch it back off. All right, and on any page, you can send the email from up here as well. Again, this is only on leads or contacts. What if I click this? Don't do that, because whatever your browser is set to, it is going to just send an email from there, or it just opens up whatever the browser is set to. All right? So mine would be set to Gmail, so it's just going to open up gmail.com and put this address right in there. So you have to use it from this button. There are no emails under accounts. Notice there's no email addresses, there's nothing going on. Why do we do this? Well, because the theory is that you would email the person at the company, not the entire company, right? So that's why the email address is only on the contact or the lead. You'll also see the option to send mail from the CRM here. So you can send mass emails. I think Mandy went over this already. You can select all on the view, send a mass email from here. That's another feature that gets added. And then you have the nifty emails tab. All right, so you can see this is my email. It's pretty much all ads. So this just looks like a typical email setup. You can go into settings. You have your vacation reply. You have multiple signatures. You can change the send email as. You can add your filters and your folders. There's an import option if you want to import all your filters from another application. You have to recreate them, etc. Normal email stuff, and there's 2 views. So you log in, it'll tell you exactly what's going on. It's very similar to Zoho Mail. One thing I really like about checking emails inside this system, so this is the warning I got when I was trying to set up this address, right? So make sure you get that fixed. I like this little widget down here on the bottom right, because I can use this to add people to the CRM as a lead or a contact from the email itself. And if they already exist, I can add notes, tasks, events, etc. All right? So I encourage people to use this to check your emails, because you can interact with the CRM. You can see all of your emails in here. You can add people directly to the CRM from the emails tab, or you can go in the individual person and respond from there. So if an email comes in, like Samir sent one to me this morning, then it's in the mail magnet because he's an existing contact. I can click on Samir and it goes right to his page, shows me his picture, which is really me, and I can respond. All right, and then there's a task button here. So that's mail magnet. So let's go into the same thing, but the IMAP version. So I'm going to switch to IMAP. This is still in production here. So just keep that in mind. The emails tab I showed you is not going to be available yet in IMAP, which is why it says beta. All right, so we made it a lot easier now. You just choose. We have all the common email servers here, and it just fills it in for you. All right, nice and simple. Put the name, password. It's got all the same features. I'm not going to walk through this all over again. Now we know the difference. It's a little bit easier since it fills it in for you, and you can always fill it in yourself. All right, I'm going to move on here. I'm not going to talk about this again because we already covered it, but in your app, tap on the Messages tab, and it's the mail magnet. That's really all you need to know. All right, Outlook plugin. I know everyone's interested in this Outlook plugin. Differences in terms of features on the Mac, and like with AutoSync, but otherwise, I'm going to mainly focus on the Windows version. All right, so if you do the mail add-on, again, it links with your server. If you do the Outlook plugin, it links with the client. It's a very different system, right? So your emails, if you choose not to do the mail add-on and you do just the Outlook plugin, you have to use Outlook as your primary email system because it's not linked to your server. So if someone sends an email back, it doesn't go to CRM. There's no server integration. It's going into Outlook. That's why I said if you want to, you can use both. So then it goes into Outlook and then into your CRM as well. All right? So for those of you who can't do that, sometimes some companies have security issues where they can't link their email server to a third-party software. So we have a system like Outlook plugin and the BCC Dropbox to combat that. But if you can, I recommend doing both ways. All right, it's great. So it syncs your contacts, calendar, and tasks to the CRM. So this is a way that you can bring your calendar that you've been using this whole time and all your tasks and all that into the CRM without having to do any sort of data migration. It just syncs it. And the newest Outlook plugin, if you have not downloaded it, go ahead and uninstall the Outlook plugin you have and reinstall it because it now auto-syncs your calendar, tasks, and contacts. If you don't see the auto-sync button for calendar, tasks, and contacts, remove your Outlook plugin and reinstall it again. How do you remove the plugin? You go under Add and Remove Programs in the Control Panel, find Zoho, and remove it. Okay, and there's some updates on checking for duplicate entries. I know there are still some issues which people have, but we have improved some of the duplicate entries issues that people have sent tickets about. Yes. Yep. All right. So we're going to talk about all of these different options here at the top. So I only have screenshots as I am on a Mac, and I wanted to show the Windows version. Okay, so you download the plugin, you install it like any other Windows program, you close out Outlook, and you relaunch it. Then you'll have this toolbar. If you're in an old version of Outlook, one, update it, or if you can't, it will not be under add-ins, it will just be in the main section. This ribbon user interface was released in, I think, the Outlook 2010 and newer, and any older version of Outlook, it won't be under add-ins. If you don't see add-ins at all, it has been disabled. Go under the Outlook settings and bring it back. All right, so you click sign in, and you're going to sign in with your email address and password. I have a username on my account, so that's not an error. Back in the old days, Zoho allowed usernames along with email addresses, so that's why I have that here. All right, once you sign in, you can have it staying sign in or not. Then you're going to go on the settings. So settings is right here where my mouse is. Do that first. So you have all these different options. I'm going to show the task settings. It also applies to the calendar settings and the contact settings. It looks exactly the same. So in Outlook, you can categorize things by color. So you can only, for each one, you can choose only that color, contact, task, or event to sync with Zoho or not sync with Zoho. So it's all but the red ones, or it's just the red ones. If you ran out of colors, there is a brand new color that's added called Zoho. So you can call it Zoho category. You just have to scroll down a little bit. So if you're super OCD and organized, then you probably ran out of colors. All right, so sync the changes made in Outlook tasks to Zoho CRM automatically. All right, we didn't have this a few months ago, and now we do. So your tasks will auto-sync. What happens when there's a conflict? So I'm going to talk about that in this tab. All right, and now for the ownership issue, we've tackled this in this sense. So either sync only the tasks owned by you, or it just syncs everything. However, if you have a permission issue in the CRM where you can only see your own task, it's going to still deny you the privilege to see the task in Outlook. Okay, so it does follow that format. Usually the boss wants all the tasks inside Outlook, right? Not the individual employees or sales reps. So emails. So the contacts, tasks, and calendars looks exactly the same. So emails is a little different. You don't have to automatically add every email that comes into Zoho CRM. You can have it sitting in Outlook and then choose which ones actually copy over into Zoho. Right? What does that mean? So again, we're not linked to the server, we're linked to the client. So the client can push that data to Zoho CRM every single time, so it looks like you are synced with your server, right? So you can choose that to make that happen. Maybe we don't want all the emails inside Zoho CRM, so you can choose them individually. All right? It does add contacts, or if there's drop-down, also shows leads. So if the person is not there, it can add the lead or contact for you. Conflict resolution, you can have one or the other win. So it overrides every single time, or you can have a pop-up alert let you decide that. This is Outlook. This is the full screen now. So once you log in, all of this will be able to be clicked on. There's the case option as well. It finds the contact that's linked to the case and syncs it back up. All right, so when you do the sync manually, this is what it looks like. It's going to fill up that bar real quickly, and then it'll tell you how many were added, how many were updated, and if any were deleted back and forth. And you can even click on View Details over here, and it'll give you the entire list of what was added, what was modified. So if you do it manually, then you can uncheck the specific ones you don't want. Let's say if you weren't using the color coding. All right, the conflict pop-up. If you're manually syncing and there's a conflict, it's going to allow you to pick Outlook wins or Zoho wins, and it'll give you all the fields. All right, if you didn't choose the automatic email sync, then you'll have this option as well up here. When you send each email, you'll be able to add that email specifically to Zoho CRM. This way, the entire thread doesn't get added. It's just specific emails from that thread, so you have that option. All right, I'm going to end the presentation with BCC Dropbox. It has nothing to do with Dropbox at all. All right, not like the company Dropbox, but like a mail Dropbox. Why do we have this? Well, let's say your company has some security issues about adding Zoho CRM as an email client to your server, and you don't even have Outlook. So you have another option. So what you can do is generate a unique BCC email address, and every time you send an email from any client, and you BCC that unique email address, it still makes a copy in the CRM. So you can do that with up to 5 email addresses. I'm going to show you what that means here. So back to personal settings, email settings, BCC Dropbox. So you generate this unique email address, and now if I send an email from rakesh.thakrar@gmail.com and I BCC this, it will add that one email to the CRM. That's without doing any sort of integration. It just makes a copy, right? And then there is a way to automatically generate leads or contacts from that email. Let's say I'm emailing someone and they're not a lead or a contact. So it can create that lead, it can create that contact, or it can search for the lead first. If it finds no lead, it creates a contact. If it finds no lead, it creates a lead. So you can have a pattern. All right. So benefits of email integration. We know it's all in one place. Auto-associate with a lead or contact or the potential related to that contact. You can individually share contact or lead emails with other users. You can add multiple email addresses from other clients. And we're done.